Welcome back to Health Matters. We're discussing healthy habits today, and our next healthy habit is physical activity. Joining me is cyclist Martin Davis and Coach Kurzawinski. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
Hey. That was a big hello. Coach, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Krzysztof Kurzawinski. English is Krzysztof Kurzawinski, and I always grew up on used by bike always from when I was young, and cycling in my country was #1 sport. Like here is hockey, and I was lucky to start riding with the best club in my town, and I started winning so many races from beginning, and I was the youngest one who came to represent my country, like the Polish rider, and then
I understand.
And they actually signed some contract with me for the Olympic game in Los Angeles. That means I was lucky to belong to that group for the Olympic game in Los Angeles in 1984.
Wow. And Martin?
Not an Olympic cyclist.
How do you live up to that, Martin?
I work with
you work
Chris.
coach.
Yeah, I'm an assistant coach with the team. I'm a master's level cyclist or racer in Ontario, and the team manager for Kurzawinski Coach Racing Team.
Okay, and is this an all males racing
Oh,
team?
absolutely not. No. We've actually had quite a lot of success with women. Unfortunately, cycling in Ontario, probably only about it's about a 90 to 10% ratio. It's 90% men that are racing and 10% women, and that's pretty representative in our club as well.
So help me to understand this. There's a group of you that get together every day, every other day, and you just decide, okay, I'm going to go race this way, and away you go?
No, there's a racing calendar that's published by the Ontario Cycling Association.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's a racing series called the O Cup series, which is 8 designated races that most of our members or our racing members compete in. There are races in the USA that some of our club members participate in, some of the bigger organized stage races. But for the most part, our club side, we've got roughly 80 members in the overall. Probably about 12 to 15 are racers, and then the rest are just cyclists that are out for recreation, fitness, all those good things.
Nice. So anyone can join your club?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what's the cost? Is there a cost to join the club? Or just to pay for bikes? Or?
Yeah, there is a small cost associated with the club, depending on what you would like to do. The cost is not significant. Mostly it boils down to OCA insurance costs. So whenever you ride in an organized group, it's part of our society now that we have to cover those costs. So that's really all it is.
And Coach, you've been cycling for a very long time. What do you get out of it? Like, what are the health benefits that you've noticed for yourself?
Yeah, some people wants to drop some weight, some people wants to be more healthy, some people wants to be the best in this country, like racing, and we got option like Martin helps me with maybe a slow beginners group. I can help people who wants to win some big races, maybe, you know, like
Yeah, I was reading that the average person who just takes up biking and bikes to work every day can lose up to like 13 pounds in a year just by doing that, and more, you know, and it's a greener way to go. But what are some safety tips that you would have for people? And I bring this up because in June, I believe it was, there was a young boy who actually got hit by a bus in Toronto and suffered a head injury.
Safety is like I love to always use car behind us. And then we separate groups, like slower group go a little bit different time, and we try to put someone who drive the car behind the group. We got flat tire, you got always help, and nobody stay alone. You never leave alone, like you never leave nobody. And that's the safety.
And you have those hand communications that we should all know.
So
I'm like holding my hand up.
I think also, and again, part of the club rides, helmets are necessary. I mean, that's an absolute must. It's legal for, I believe it's children under the age of 13 have to wear helmets mandatory. It is not mandatory for those that are over. However, if you ride in an OCA sanctioned club ride, as ours is, you're required to wear a helmet. But that and just the safety practices that we have, riding together in a group, learning to ride the right way, which is all things that we promote with our club rides. And you'll be safer as a result, just being able to handle your bike better.
And is there a safety kit that you bring on your ride, or you just get on your bike and you go? Like,
No.
what are the essentials that you pack with you?
For the most part, it's mechanical related. So small multi-tools, an extra inner tube, a gel packs or energy bars for low energy. And hydration, of course, is always key. But in terms of other substantial safety equipment, observing the rules of the road and being conscientious of the traffic around us. We tend to ride on roads that are less, or have lower traffic. So it's, again, safety is always a key.
Yeah, I think I was talking to you earlier before the show, and you were saying that you guys bike to Blue Mountain. And that's like 131 kilometers one way, and you come back that day too?
No, we just go.
Or you go and stay there for the weekend?
Yes, we start Saturday morning. We just ride over there to Blue Mountain. Everybody stay in the hotel, and then we come back the Sunday.
That's
go
a
back.
nice ride.
Oh, it's a beautiful ride.
Yeah.
The ride up to Blue Mountain is quite nice. And we have had some friends up there that have cottages as well. And so that also helps with some of the cost, but yeah, that's a very nice ride. The ride home is a lot more pleasurable because it's mostly downhill on the way back.
Nice. And what do you do for nutrition? I mean, are you just drinking water? Do you have electrolytes in your water?
So in terms of nutrition, the big thing is the pre-ride meal, and that's really important. It's really key to have a full tank before you go. So a breakfast of things like toast and eggs, very good. Lower in fat and also high in protein will help you get through. And then once you're on the road, lots of water. Some electrolyte drinks are good, although neither one of us are big fans of them.
Yeah.
And then routine eating. So you want to. The rule of thumb is drink before you're thirsty, eat before you're hungry. So you should be drinking every 5 to 10 minutes. And you should be eating roughly every hour or so intervals for a longer ride.
As you're riding.
As you're riding,
As you're eating and you're drinking as you're riding.
If you watched pros in the Tour de France, their caloric burn rate is very high because they're racing, but they're continually eating throughout the race.
Speaking of the Tour de France, this is what I pulled up. Did you know in 1926, the Tour de France was 5,745 kilometers? That was the largest.
That was one of the longest.
That was one of the longest.
Yeah.
And this year, it said that the highest mountain riders will climb is 2,360 meters. That's 5 times the height of the CN Tower.
Yeah, that's the.
How do you push yourself? 5 times the height of the CN Tower. They're climbing.
Yeah, the height, the mountain you're referring to is the Col d'Izoard, and it's a famous ski hill. That was the height. And a little fun fact for you. Is that the rider that got to the top of that won 5,000 euros, the #1 rider that made it to the top, so about 7,500 Canadian. But to push yourself to that, the slopes of that particular hill are average between 6 and 8%, but they go for about 25 kilometers. So if you're riding in just north of the city, imagine riding to Bell Fountain 8 times back to back.
Wow.
So,
how do you even train for that?
There's a lot of different methods of training for that, but really the big thing is just to do it.
Just get on the bike and go. Well, you guys train in the winter time.
Yes, we do.
And what do you do in the winter as part of your training to ride, I guess, in the summer?
So we've organized for the last 4 years, we have what we call the Wind Cycling Center.
Okay.
So we do a couple different types of training in the winter. So our Wind Cycling Center, we run spinning classes 5 days a week. We also do what's very popular now, but we've been doing it longer than it was popular, is an outdoor boot camp. Which is quite some fun, and then as long as the roads and not the roads, but the weather's not too nasty, we do a lot of mountain biking and cyclocross riding in the snow.
And so, in terms of bikes, how expensive is the gear? And I asked this because I'm looking online for expensive bikes. Of course, I'm looking, right? And there's this company, and I think in Switzerland, Aura Mania, and they sold a bike all decked out with crystals and leather and gold plated for like 80,000 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And a guy from London bought it and put it up on his home for art.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, how expensive can bikes get?
So for you can get into riding an entry-level bike $500 to $800. If you're considering even modest racing or quicker road riding, you're probably $1,000 to $1,500. From there, then it's really a question of form and function and ego, to be quite honest.
Okay.
So most of the guys that race have got wheels that are more expensive than that. But for average road rider, yeah, if in and around $1,000, you're going to get a decent bike. Hard to buy a bad bike these days. And then from there, it's a question of, do I want to drive a Chevrolet or do I want to drive a Ferrari?
I see, I see,
Yeah.
I see. And the more expensive the bike, is the bike lighter?
So the rule of thumb in any type of racing is not fast, sorry, it is light, strong, cheap. Pick two. So if you want something that is strong and light, it's going to be expensive. If you're going
on the Tour de France.
Yeah, so the average bikes on the Tour de France you can actually buy, and actually the bike that I own is the exact same bike that Lance Armstrong, defrocked now cyclist, but won his 7th Tour de France on. So you can go and buy bikes right now, and it was not that expensive, relatively speaking, that the pros ride.
The pros ride. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to Health Matters tonight, and happy cycling to you. Thank you for watching Health Matters. As a final note, I will leave you with a quote by Lester Levinson of the Sedona Method. He says, the key to securing the happiness that is yours is to learn how to discharge those negative feelings. Have a wonderful day.